Most people strive to find some measure of financial success, but the road can be difficult. Jefferson Pan tells us the story of a remarkable local black man who made his way in this world when doing so was far from the norm.
If you ever walked through WVU's campus, you may have passed Hunt Street without giving the name a second thought. Hunt Street is named after John Hunt, an African-American businessman who lived in the Morgantown area at the turn of the century. John Hunt was the son of a former slave who founded 23 businesses and was a millionaire. Hunt was born in 1871 in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, and moved to Morgantown at the age of 19. He started working as a cook, but quickly opened up his first restaurant on High Street. He would open up many more businesses. His most popular restaurant was Hunt's Oyster Parlor for Ladies on Walnut Street. I learned about Hunt's story from research done by Katie Saucer, a graduate of West Virginia University's Public History MA program.
In 1900, he opened up the first ice cream plant in the county, and he would use cut and stored ice from the Mon River to make his, they were called Hokey Pokey ice cream bars. Apparently they were very popular, and he sold a lot of them. And another really remarkable thing about him is he shared his wealth and kind of his connections. So he helped a lot of Black people that he worked with and people who didn't have as much money get business licenses to open up their own restaurants.
Hunt lived with his wife Anna Davis and their 8 children on what is now Hunt Street on WVU's campus. His connection with WVU doesn't end there, though. His granddaughter, Annette Chandler Broom, was the first African-American graduate of the university in 1957. Later in life, Hunt founded 3 resorts, the most famous of which was Indian Rocks Resort, which was later put on the National Register of Historic Places. In 1932, at the age of 61, John Hunt passed away at Indian Rocks.
So the thing that made me want to dive deeper into this story was the fact that there was nothing really written about it, and I couldn't find. And I just thought, if this man was a millionaire at the turn of the century, one of the only Black millionaires in the area, why is there nothing written about him?
John Hunt lived a full life that was intertwined with the history of the area, and yet it was almost forgotten. Maybe it takes the hard work of historians in a time like Black History Month to give the John Hunts of history their just due. Reporting for 12 News in Morgantown, I'm Jefferson Pan.